From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, Interior Energy Project finalists worked to convince community members their companies were the best fit to bring affordable liquefied natural gas to the area last night. Mike Fussell has this report.
4 of 5 finalists presented their plans to bring cheaper LNG to the area, highlighting key differences at a town hall meeting in the Pioneer Park Civic Center. Phoenix Clean Fuels, Salix, Spectrum LNG, and Westpac Midstream sent representatives, but Harvest Alaska did not attend. Interior Energy Project Manager Bob Shevchik says public comment will be incorporated into ADA's decision.
We will summarize all the comments and the proceedings tonight. It'll go to the evaluation team members and to the ADA board in both the recommendation for a project finalist and for board action. Phoenix
Clean Fuels and Spectrum LNG are the companies aiming to truck gas down the Dalton. ADA documents state North Slope LNG is more abundant and cheaper than the Cook Inlet alternative, but Arctic conditions make bringing the resource to the borough and setting up plants more expensive. Finalists say they plan to tap into existing supply chain segments to take on the challenge.
So I think one of the things that our group brings is North Slope experience. We've done $50 million in capital projects on the North Slope just in the last year alone, and we're providing that full solution, not just liquefaction, but also delivery to the city gate.
ADA demand projections for LNG show a significant increase by 2024, but project officials say being flexible to demand may be the biggest challenge.
That uncertainty of demand is why when they present, you hear them say, well, the price might be this, because it's based on a demand projection, not an actual demand. If the pipe was already in the ground and people needed gas to burn the day it arrived, it would be much easier for them to do their job.
Several companies will battle the uncertainty with a two-phased approach, increasing LNG supply as interior residents use more. Cook Inlet finalist Westpac Midstream plans on mitigating the risk of having excess gas on hand by shipping it to other marine markets. While most proposals set up an entire supply chain system, Salix is only responding to ADA's request to build a liquefaction plant, not solutions for transportation. A partner will be recommended to the ADA board in early December for final approval several weeks later. Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
Testimony continued today in the case of the Fbx 4. Stephanie Woodard has the latest in this report.
Explosive testimony was heard yesterday in Fairbanks Superior Court in the case of the Fbx 4. The investigator brought in by the state to check the work of the other two read from a report for the first time after sending in the evidence.
Many areas exhibit a tan coloration. However, closer examination of these regions show that the color was due to wear rather than heavy deposits of dust.
It was only after prosecutor Adrian Bachman questioned him about an alleged transfer between Marvin Roberts' car and John Hartman's pants worn on the night in 1997.
After the report came back, turns out it wasn't dirt, it was wear on the pants. See that?
Well, that's what he's saying, but when I looked at the photographs, I don't think it was wear on the pants. I think it was dirt on the pants.
Now, Bachman stopped before confirming the actual findings on her direct examination of the testimony, but the petitioners honed in on that gap.
You looked at a photograph, you thought you saw dirt, okay? But then you guys sent this off to this fancy laboratory you'd used before in other big cases, right?
Yes, we have.
And they actually had the pants, right?
Yes.
Not just a picture of the pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another investigator was on the stand today. Lieutenant Geyer testified to before some of that centered around the confessions made by Eugene Vent and George Freese, including what car Marvin Roberts had drove.
Do you know of any other reports of Marvin Roberts' car from anywhere, any day, putting Marvin Roberts' car at the scene of 9th and Barnett?
Other than statements made by Eugene Vent and George Freese? No.
This is Stephanie Woodard reporting.
When we come back, tomorrow is the first Friday of the month, which means there will be a number of events going on, including Chief Andrew Isaac Art Show. Also, it's time for another edition of Fairbanks Flavor. Tonight, you'll see how to blend oregano, clams, and breadcrumbs for clams oreganta. Those stories and more when we... And welcome back. The first Friday Raven Art Show is set for tomorrow in downtown Fairbanks. Monty Bowen has more about it in this week's edition of That's Interiortainment.
Once a month, residents turn out for citywide gallery openings featuring work by local artists. One of the venues is the Chief Andrew Isaac Health Center.
We initially started with just a small group of employees who are artists that wanted to showcase their artwork, and due to popularity, we expanded it out to include Alaskan artists from all over. And so we've got over 30 artists coming this time.
In addition to the art being displayed, more is offered during the event.
We think it's really important to support the Alaskan artists, also welcome the community members into our health center, and to encourage community appreciation of the Alaskan Native culture and arts in all forms.
This is Monty Bowen, and that's Interiortainment.
That's Interiortainment, brought to you by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
The Fairbanks Rescue Mission provides more than just a warm place to sleep at night. It is the savings grace to thousands of people from the interior. Sarah Dabowski reports.
As the days get shorter and the nights get colder, the Fairbanks Rescue Mission is expecting a rise in people to come through their doors. The mission provides emergency shelter and food for the homeless, as well as addiction, veteran, and job assistance.
Every winter, our numbers go higher, and for the last probably 5 years, I think, our men's side's been over capacity the majority of the winter. Usually in the summer when the weather gets warm, people decide to leave in a camp. But this summer, our numbers never really dropped that much like they usually do. So we're kind of bracing ourselves for this huge influx this winter.
The goal of the mission is to address the physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional needs of all those who walk through its doors. It gives people a safe place to stay and teaches them how to overcome hardships.
We have some basic services, which is our emergency shelter, and then we offer some programs that are really designed to help people move beyond homelessness. We have our recycling green collar work program, and we use our recycling center to enable people to learn some job skills and some job character. We have 2 veteran programs which work with veterans basically to get them into housing or keep them in housing, help them to get work. And we have our recovery program which uses the Genesis curriculum.
The Fairbanks Rescue Mission doors are open to everyone no matter what you are going through. If you would like more information on the mission and the services it provides, please check out our website at webcenter11.com.
It's safe here. You'll be safe here, and there's no shame in it. And everybody needs a place to catch their breath sometimes.
Sarah Dabowski reporting.
And now it's time to join Lisa Gambardella for another edition of Fairbanks Flavor.
Hello, welcome to Gambardella's Pasta Bella downtown. I'm Lisa Gambardella, and this is Fairbanks Flavor. Today we're going to make some clams oreganata. That's clams with oregano and breadcrumb. Let's make our breadcrumb mix first. I've got some breadcrumb. I'm going to put some oregano in there. Delicious. That always smells like good Italian food. Some fresh parsley, and just a little pinch of hot pepper. Some fresh garlic. This already looks great, doesn't it? Don't forget to add a little salt in there, pepper, and also some clam juice, because it's going to make like a paste. Now, to get your clams to open up, you can put them in a skillet or in the oven, just so they pop open. You don't really want them to cook at this point. So you pop off the top and then loosen the clam meat, either with a knife or like that, and then you get a lot of this nice paste of garlic and oregano on there. Get it on there firmly. It's going to help keep the clam moist. And put them all in a pan and then drizzle it with some olive oil. If you have extra breadcrumb, you can sprinkle it around the pan, and I'll show you the finished product. Oh, look at that. Clams oreganata. Wow, those are delicious. Those would be a great appetizer for you. See our recipes at webcenter11.com or come downtown to Gambardella's and I'll make it for you.
Brought to you by Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
Joe Cook is coming up with sports, and hockey is on the menu tonight. The Nanooks are back at home this weekend while the Ice Dogs will hit the road. High school hockey teams were in action last night as well. Joe will have more on those stories after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Thursday Sportscast. Lots of hockey today, and we start with the Division I program up on the hill. Nanack Hockey is back at home this weekend. They'll be hosting Northern Michigan in their first conference home series of the season. The Wildcats are tied for third in the WCHA with a 2-1-1 record. They beat Bemidji State 3-1 in their last outing. The Nanacks are 0-2 in the conference, and they are thirsty for some points this weekend. They split their series with Northern Michigan in their only meeting last season. Goalie Davis Jones is coming off a career-high 40-save performance, while Tyler Morley is just 2 points away from 100 points. Rookie John Mullally scores his first career goal against Minnesota State in the last series. He says it's time for the Nooks to string together some wins.
You know, I feel like we didn't go into those two games quite prepared. You know, coming into this weekend, we just got to stay focused on what the task at hand is, and that's to get 2 wins.
They do a good job of, in the D zone, of kind of latching on to you a bit and not really giving you a whole lot of space. We've been working a lot down low too, and kind of working on keeping our feet moving and you know, creating space for ourselves. There's one way that we're going to be successful, and that is hard work. So we just kind of got to stick to that and make sure that we're working.
It may be a little difficult for the Ice Dogs to not overlook their opponents in their next series. Tonight, they start a 3-game series against the Kenai River Brown Bears, their in-state rivals. But to be frank, the Brown Bears are surprisingly bad this season. They are just 1-15 on the year. Their last win was September 18th, a 4-3 overtime win over Janesville. Kenai is currently on a 13-game losing streak, so it'll be worse versus first. The Ice Dogs are 13-2-1 and have the best record in the NA. They are up 4-0 in the Raven Alaska Cup Series. Two hot dogs, Clay Cross and Alex Maynard, are aware that Fairbanks can't sleep on Kenai, especially on their bigger home rink. They want to stay on top of the league.
They're going to be physical. They're going to play the body and just try to slow us down as much as they can. They got nothing to lose, so they're going to be playing to save their spot on the team. Because if they don't start winning, there's going to be new guys who come in. With the bigger ice, we got to keep our gaps tight and make sure the wingers stay. We got to stay tight on the wingers and just make sure they don't go to the outside because there's a lot of room, and hopefully play well.
And this weekend is tournament weekend in high school volleyball. The Aurora Conference Tournament is in Valdez this year, with the Buccaneers hosting defending conference champion Monroe, and Valdez coming as the top 2 seeds. Allison, they finished 3rd in the conference. The top 2 seeds from the Aurora get a state berth. Monroe will look to get back to state final, finishing as the runner-ups in the state final last year. In the Mid-Alaska Conference Tournament, undefeated West Valley has a bye. They will face the winner of North Pole Lathrop on Saturday at 3 o'clock at West Valley for the right to go to state. Patriots and Malamutes, they will play Friday night at 6 o'clock. The state tournament is November 12th through 14th at the Alaska Airlines Center in Anchorage. North Pole Patriots hosted the Hutchinson Hawks in a non-conference hockey game on Wednesday night. The Patriots lost their season opener to Monroe. They were not trying to start the year 0-2. Darren Donovan and Cody Frary made sure of that. Frary had himself a game with 2 goals and 2 assists. Donovan, he led the Patriots in goals with a hat trick, netting a goal in each period for the Pats. Brandon Rustad would get the Hawks on the board late in the second period to prevent the shutout, but too much North Pole in this one. They win it 7-3 and improved to 1-1, while Hutch drops their season opener on the road. Staying with high school hockey, the West Valley Wolfpack make a big statement in their season opener. They blanked the South Anchorage Wolverines 7-0 in Anchorage last night. Lane Wood made 19 saves for the shutout. Stasi Skorowski led 5 different players in scoring with 2 goals and 3 assists. West Valley scored at least 2 goals in each period. The Wolfpack will take on Chuyak tonight. And on the mats at Lathrop High School, the Malamutes invited the Allison Ravens and Hutchinson Hawks for a tri-meet. The wrestlers and their fans congregated in Lathrop's mat room last night. Monroe's lone wrestler this year, Tanner Clark, was in the mix. He pins Hutchinson's Xavier Udebe in the second round of their bout. It's Clark's 7th win of the season. Hutchinson would win their matchups against Allison and Lathrop with 42-24 and 40-30 wins. Matthew Beckwith got a pin a minute and 10 seconds in the 220-pound class for the Hawks. Caden Ott of Lathrop defeated Allison's Jonathan St. Andre 10-6 after a 3-round battle. Lathrop beat Allison 40-25 as Zach Tolver and Wesley Bockert picked up wins for the Malamutes. And next up is the marquee John Tobin Invitational at North Pole this weekend. And that's a wrap for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is up next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Thursday night edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. And it's a pretty quiet day across the interior. It's mainly cloudy skies, no precipitation. And we have actually warm temperatures today too. The high was right around the low 30s. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Look at this photograph sent in by Linda Sower, and she was driving back from Valdez and was able to capture this magnificent sunset. What a gorgeous shot that is. Look at the brilliant reds and oranges. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. And speaking of photos, look what's out now, our new Fab Photo Calendar. It just came out today. It's many places all across the Fairbanks and North Pole areas, and it's free. And you can find it at places like Miguel's Restaurant or Personnel Plus or even Kendall's Auto, both the auto shops on South Cushman and Danby. And like I said, it's free, and it's got some great photographs in it. And they're all from you. Okay, that's good to see. Here's what's going on as far as our numbers. 31 for the high, 19 for the low last night. Record high 39, 1935, 41 below at 1907. Your sunrise and sunset, 7 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. A loss of yet another 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, you can see we have a good area of low pressure spinning across the Bering Sea. That's helping to bring a lot of moisture over the southwest, but because it's bringing it from the south, the Alaska Range is blocking all the moisture out from getting into the Fairbanks area, but it is raining and snowing down to the south. Now, as far as what's going on across the rest of the state, scattered showers around Juneau, but rain around Ketchikan. There's some rain and snow in the Anchorage Bowl area, 35 degrees there. Mainly just cloudy skies around the Kodiak region and some showers along the Aleutian Chain at Colby 41. 34 at Bethel, also 34 at Nome. Then north to the Barrow area, 22 degrees there. Fort Yukon at 19. Lower 48 weather over the Pacific Northwest. The rains continue there in Seattle. Only 53 degrees there. 58 degrees in Las Vegas. What's going on? Lots of clouds and cooler temperatures. For Phoenix, only 66 also. Showers and thunderstorms across parts of Texas into Louisiana, and more activity moving across the Minneapolis area with 65 degrees there. Showers and thunderstorms also over the deep south. Nice weather over the northeast. On the satellite and radar, you can see why they're getting thunderstorms. Look at the moisture and the bands once again in the orange and red, indicating more activity moving on there. And then a new cold system moving across the northern Rockies, bringing yet more snow and more rain expected across the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast. And as far as severe storms, well, more storms expected to break out tonight and tomorrow across much of central Texas. Again, isolated tornadoes, flooding, downpours, and damaging winds. And the jet stream, like I said yesterday, is way up to the north and continuing to bring more warm air into the Central Plains. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. And this week, we've been talking with the kids from Joy Elementary School. But tonight, here's the teacher with the kids and an interesting weather fact.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Mackey, and this is my 4th grade class at Joy Elementary, and we have a weather fact to share with you. Class, did you know that the energy from a hurricane is so strong that if we could harness it, we could power the United States for 3 years?
Wow. And again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Next week, the kids from Ladd Elementary will be here with lots of things to share. Real quickly, looking at our, well, not the winter trails. We're going to hold that off till tomorrow night, but we'll give you our forecast for tonight for the northern sections of Alaska. Mostly cloudy at Barrow, rain and snow for Nome, and snow with 1 to 3 inches in Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, looking at the scattered snow showers for Fairbanks, chance of snow in Healy and Delta, and as far as southeast Alaska, looking at rain showers at Juneau, strong winds in the Ketchikan region. Over to the southwest we go. It looks like wind and rain for Colby, rain changing to showers for Kodiak, and rain for Bethel. And down around the south central regions, so looking at rain and snow at Anchorage and Homer, periods of rain in Valdez. And it's Thursday night, which means it's time for our winter trails. And I take it back. What are road conditions? Well, we'll talk about those, I guess, later on tonight. We will tell you that the road conditions, once again, are very, very nasty coming out of the Fairbanks area. Lots of wind in the Parks Highway and also the Delta Junction region. And, of course, blowing and drifting snow, so keep that in mind. Give yourself plenty of time. Here's our forecast for tonight. Cloudy skies, scattered snow showers into the morning, 20 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, it's possible a little snow could develop by evening, and 29 degrees. And the 5-day outlook, as you see here, temperatures, once again, in the mid-20s and then dropping down to the single digits for overnight lows with teens for the daytime highs. In fact, the high on Tuesday or Wednesday, only 18 and 10 degrees with overnight lows, like I said before, into the single digits. So
All
colder
right.
temperatures.
All right, thank you, Mike. That's not good to hear.
Yeah.
All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight in NBC Nightly News, President Obama says it's possible that a bomb did bring down the Russian airliner. That's up next with Lester Holt.
And Saturday night from 7 to 8 p.m., KTVF will air a special program that originally aired on our sister station, KTUU, about the Fairbanks 4. We hope this will provide some background for the current ongoing trial.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.